My name's Trevor Waters. I was born in 1958 from parents Herman and Enid Waters. They came over to England from Jamaica to get a better life. They had 7 children. They had 2 that was born in Jamaica and the other 5 was born in England. When I was young, I went to Hartley Junior School, which was in East London. From the Hartley Junior School, I then passed my 11 plus and went to South West Ham Technical School. That school was then transferred into a school called Trinity, where we had children from the Sandringham who was based in Forest Gate who joined up with us. From there, I met a good friend of mine, Noel Baker, and what we then done, we joined up together and formed a sound system called Joe Warrior Sound System. We set that up because of our love of music. I mean, we was one of the top sound systems in the borough. Nobody could really touch us. We then produced a record. One of the records that we produced was a song called Katrina, which I've made with a guy named Patrick Young. We called him P-Way. I mean, he loved that name, Patrick Young P-Way. He was a great man. He passed away last year, which was a very sad thing in my life because I grew up with him from very, very young. From there, we decided to form a company. So the company that we formed, this is between me and my brother Robert, we formed a company called Equest Advertising and Promotions Limited. That was back in 1984. That company was what we would class as the shining point in our lives, because what then started to happen, we started to do lots of promotional activity, music, promotions, that was dancing, putting on shows. And the first place that we went to was a place called Burford Road down in Stratford. I always remember this because there was, when me and Robert, my younger brother, when we first went into Burford Road, we saw this man. This man had this dog. It was a Doberman dog. I don't like dogs. I mean, never did like dogs. But he had this Doberman dog. And he came into our room and he introduced himself as Al Hamilton. And all I was looking at was this dog. And he had this dog off the lead. And I was just looking at the dog while he was introducing myself. I wasn't impressed. But what he decided to do, he said that to us, that because we were the youngers, he used to class us as the youngers. What we then done, right, he took us out to a number of different venues, and because he was into that promotional activities. So what he then done, he said to us, come with us and he will show us the ropes, because we were new into the promotional game. So he took us along to many different venues where we saw many different people. Okay, and when I say many different people, we were talking about boxers, and we was going around with footballers. He was introducing us to all these various different stars and superstars at the time. Okay, so as we started to progress our music, our promotional activities, right, we then got involved with him in an activity called the Commonwealth Sports Awards. That was his baby. He loved the sports activities. So what he then done, he decided to help us along the paths. So we joined up with Al Hamilton and we went to many of his events. And at these events, there was superstars at the time, which we would class as superstars. So what we then decided to do is we decided to get more involved in our own personal activities in the promotional field. And what that meant was that we were now putting on our own dances, our own shows, right? And that led us to get a good name and a good reputation. So what then happened, we decided that the name Equest Advertising and Promotions Limited, that was too long. It was too much. I mean, we wanted to kind of shorten it. So what we then decided, about 5 years later, after 1984, we decided to shorten the name. But we kept the Equest, because the Equest name was our signature. People knew us now. They used to call us Mr. Equest. So what we decided to do is cut the name, but leave the Equest. And we wanted to find out what's the best way and the best name that we can come up with. So me and my brother sat down and we was thinking about a lot of things, and we came up with the name Tharmm. That's Tharmm. People used to say to us, what does that mean? What does Tharmm Equest mean? Tharmm Equest means it's people's first initials of their names. Now, I'll give you an example. Tharmm Equest, Tharmm. T for Trevor, that's me. H for Herman, that's my dad. A for Arthur Ashe. R for Robert, that's my brother. M for Malcolm, Malcolm X. M for Mandeli, And we had another M, which we didn't really want to put the 3 M's, but the other M was for Martin Luther King. Now people say to us, oh, why is that? If you look at each of those individuals in their own respective sports and their own respective personal lives, were the people that black people looked up to. And then the T, the H and the R, family members. So that's how we came up with it. People don't know a lot about that. Those 4 people were very inspirational to me. When we looked at it and you look at what they achieved, we put that into our company, and from each of those personnel, we feel that they bring the name of Tharmm to a higher level. And that's where we got the Tharmm Equest from. Now, Tharmm Equest is one of the best known companies, black companies in the UK. People say, how come you can say that? Well, I say it because I put down UK's #1 black entertainment company. A lot of people say, well, you're big-headed. I say, nah, not big-headed, because I've got 4 main sporting political icons among my company name, so I can say that. I mean, on that level, people say, okay, we understand where you're coming from, because you want to be the best like those people, and I say yes. The person who I feel is the best person out of all those is my dad. I mean, my dad gave me life, and through his journey, he has a legacy which I want to bring together. So I use his first initial to say he's the one that I look up to. The others, yes, I look up to from a sporting and a political perspective. But my dad, Herman Walters, is my inspiration, and that's why his name is at the top of the list. Now, over the years, Tharmm Equest has done so many different things. I mean, I could sit here for an hour and name all the various different people that we've worked with, but that's not what this is about. This is about our legacy, Tharmm Equest, and the legacy that we want to bring to the UK and the world. What we're looking to do is ensure that we are well adverse with what's going on in the moment. When we're talking about that, we're talking about the new technologies, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the TikToks. We need to be up to speed in what's going on. Now, what we've done over the last 6 months is that we are setting up our new website. Our website is due to go live in October. What we intend to do over the next 5 to 10 years is put on bigger and better shows. When we say bigger and better shows, we want to go and do a lot more live events, the big events at the O2 in Brixton, Greenwich. We want to put on the big shows down in Milton Keynes, in Manchester, in Birmingham. We want to go right across the country and put on such superstars, bring over the big artists from Jamaica, the big reggae sounds, bring over the American comedians, bring over the big singers, and put them in the big events. Tharmm Equest are on that level, and that is where we want to aim for. We are starting to see from our people who we are working with that they have the contacts now to put on these shows alongside us. There is no one company now that can do everything. Everybody must work together, and that is what Tharmm Equest is now starting to do. We want to work with some of the big companies, I mean, put on the big shows, bring in, as I said, the superstars, make the shows much more grander, sparkle the shows out. I mean, instead of just bringing someone into a show and just put the razzmatazz around it, put the red carpets. I mean, those are the things that we want to do. Put on the entertainment for people so that when people do come out, they're not just coming out to a show and going home. They're getting the whole experience around them. And that is what Tharmm Equest wants to achieve over the next 5 to 10 years. And that is what we will do, working with, in collaboration with many other people. We're not here to say that Tharmm Equest will just be the big company. No, we're not the big company. We work alongside the smaller companies and bring them up alongside us. It's not no big ego thing that we must be only, we are the best. Even though we say we are the best, but with the other companies coming alongside us, they can also be the best. Also, I mean, when we talk about companies, we're talking about printing companies, we're talking about video companies, we're talking about photographers, we're talking about the whole entertainment sphere where we all come together. not just one company running the whole show. We work as a collaboration with other companies, and we all work together to make a better experience for the customer. That is what we were aimed to do. The customer is the key. Without the customer coming to the shows, there is nothing anybody can do. We must work together, and we must make that experience for the customer, because without the customer, we are nothing. So Tharmm Equest, over the next years, we are looking to find companies that can work alongside us. We have got some other brilliant companies who, we've done so many different things with in the last year, and we will want to work with them and bring them up alongside us. So over the next years, hopefully Tharmm Equest and these companies can come together in a collaboration to work for the better experience of the client.